Hello, Dan Ringwald here, talking to you today from the Personal Power Project. And we're going to go over some information about those power walls and how we had a problem with them not charging up from the grid. Because I put a video out the other day, pretty long video, about an hour and a half, and I got to quit doing that. That's too much. But in any case, it basically talked about how there's a federal mandate that says they cannot charge those power walls from the grid if you have solar on your house. If you just have the batteries and no solar, you can charge them up, just like you can charge your car up. But you can't do that if you have solar on your house. So we're going to go and show you something that I found out here recently that actually you can. And before we do, let me give you a quick little word from our sponsor, me, Dan Ringwald, for an upcoming meeting we have with the Santa Barbara RIA. So let's come back here, and I am going to shrink myself up a little bit here and get me out. And we've got a meeting coming up. There's my daughter, Alana. So cute. You got to hear her.
Hi, I'm Alana Ringwald from the Santa Barbara Real Estate Investors Association. I'm here at the Best Partner for the 6th Annual Santa Barbara Real Estate Expo.
Okay, we're going to stop that because actually what we've got coming up, I mean, a proud father. What can I say? We've got a meeting coming up here for Cliff Gager. So this is from the Santa Barbara Real Estate Investor Association website, of which I created some time back. And this meeting is going to be a virtual Zoom type meeting this Saturday, the 12th of December from 1 to 2 p.m. And Cliff, this guy's pretty hot. He's doing a lot. So he's going to give you a rundown on his training videos. He's got fix and flip information, property appraisals, negotiation, online real estate training, wholesaling, rehabbing. He even does bus tours. He's in Southern California, and I think you would enjoy working with him, going on some of these bus tours, and seeing what he has to offer. So we'll cover that this Saturday. Now, let's get back to our power walls here. And these are the three power walls that I had recently installed at my house. And what we've got, let's come back over here and take a quick look at this Tesla app. Okay. So, I had mentioned that you cannot and they will not let you charge up your batteries if you say, I know that Edison is going to be turning off the power, which I did, and I wanted to be able to charge my batteries up, make sure they were full before they turn that power off. There was no way to do that. And when I talked to the Tesla people, they said, yeah, that's correct. There isn't a way to do it. It's a federal mandate that you can't do it if you have solar on your house and batteries. Well, I found out there's a time that actually it does charge from the grid to the battery, and it's during a storm watch. For instance, you see here, let me move this a little bit smaller, is a storm watch. And during that storm watch, what I found out that happened is, let's come back over here. This is what happened. The blue area is also the same as the grid. This indication over here is power grid and home, power coming into the home and power being used from the grid as well. All was happening in this area here, and then during the day we had solar and it was charging, and this was the charge to the batteries. And then what happened was there was a point in time where it kicked in and it gave us the storm watch. And when the storm watch kicked in, it automatically put everything it could into the batteries and started charging them up because they were probably down around 50 or 60%. And while that happened, I tried to turn it off. I tried to do different things just to see if I could mess with it, of course. And I was able to actually switch it off and have it go back to the battery and supply the house with the battery. But then immediately when it saw it was discharging the battery again and Stormwatch was there, it said, no, we're going to put power back into the battery from the grid. And this gray area up here, just like this, is the grid. So that's a case where absolutely it's taking it from the grid and putting it into the batteries. I can't turn the storm watch on and force it to do that. That's something that happens through Tesla, and they go out to all the power walls just like they go out to the Tesla cars and update software and do little things. They do the same thing here. This is, from the grid, 54 kilowatts, and then back to the grid, a little bit going back. But mainly, this is what happened: is most of that stuff was going to the power wall while it was charging up the home, doing things in the home, supplying power to the home. It was charging up the battery from the grid. So even though there's a federal mandate that says they can't do that, or you can't choose to have it done whenever you want to, it actually does happen when there is a storm watch and it pops up on your app, makes things go, and works really good. um, when you've got a storm coming in and they're able to tell, they just do it. If SCE is going to turn off the power, there's real no communication between SCE and Tesla. So again, that's kind of a gray area where you just got to watch and make sure that you're charged up. So all this gray area is, again, coming in from the grid. Some solar was coming in, and that solar was being used up in the house at the same time it was charging the batteries. So that's all grid power there. And let's see here. We've got the next day, we had a lot of power from the grid, some going to the grid. It was just holding that power in the battery. It wasn't taking it from, it wasn't putting to, because the battery was fully charged. And in this case, what happens if you have that solar during the day, it just takes that solar power and pumps it right back to the grid, or SCE. And because we're on net metering, it's kind of a one-to-one thing. If they give us an hour of power from the grid, when solar comes up and gives back an hour to SCE, it's just a one-to-one exchange, which is pretty good. But we will more than likely switch over to time of use, because I recently found out with the 3 power walls that they gave us for free through this program, the SGIP program, they basically now are saying, because I haven't got the check back yet, the $40,000 check, which we will in months, I hope. We'll see. Part of that condition is that we are on time of use. So we will go time of use on the electric EV charging type. So we will have about 16 cents per kilowatt hour before 4 o'clock, and during 4 to 9, it'll probably jump up to about 35 or 37 cents per kilowatt hour. And then after 9 o'clock, it drops back to 16 cents per kilowatt hour until we get back to the next day and it's 4 o'clock again. So, we can use the batteries during that 4 to 5 or 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. time and really be off the grid. So we will obviously switch over to time of use if we want to get that $40,000 check, but that also opens up the door for us to add to our home and put more solar on without worrying about losing net metering 1 because we already gave it up. Or we could put wind if we can ever get Santa Barbara County to approve it, because so far they've said, hey, we don't have a mandate from wind for anybody in Santa Barbara County by the federal government. So we're just not going to let you until the federal government says you have to let them. Now I can look out my window here. I live up in the mountains of Santa Barbara, and look across the canyon and see this huge wind generator up there that was put up by Jane Fonda and her husband at that time. And, they had the ins with the Santa Barbara County because he was in the political arena, and they got it. They're long gone. They sold the property. Other people have it now, but it's there and it's working. So, of course, they're going to say, well, that was grandfathered in years ago, and that's why they have it, or it's there and you can't. But I won't give up, and I will continue on seeing if there's a way to do that. And once I find out, I will get back on here and let everybody know. Okay? So that's about it. I've got to start doing these things much shorter, and I will. We do have a way of charging these batteries up from the grid if there's a storm watch, and it works really, really good to protect you. The moment they actually lose power because of the storm, you got, at least I have with 3 of these Powerwalls, probably 2 days worth of charge that can keep us going. If the power watch was still on, the storm watch was still on, and we couldn't charge the batteries, which I think we can, once they're down and they're low, because we would be off of the grid. So yeah, it would just automatically charge during the day and keep that power going to the power walls, even when we're in the storm watch, because as soon as it goes below a certain level, it's going to feed it back to the power walls from the sun if the sun happens to be up and it's not night. So it's good. It's really good. I'm very happy with it, especially free. It can't be, you can't, it's very hard to say no to that, right? Hey, thank you very much. If you like what you're seeing here and, you want more, just, subscribe and send me some comments and let me know what else you'd like to hear from some of this stuff on Tesla, real estate, whatever. I'm going to have probably a list of things that are basically all having to do with your home and making it independent, energy independent, and all the different things that you can do. We've got water heater, electric, that we've got to go over and kind of run through the details on, a number of things. So we'll get there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with more.